Hey everybody, in this video we're going to talk about toxic mold treatment. I'm Dr. Diane Mueller. I'm Lyme disease and mold illness expert. The number one thing with toxic mold treatment is to figure out if you are living in mold by running an ERMI test, E-R-M-I. I'm going to put a link to that test and to a bunch of tests in the show notes for you. So essentially, if you run the home ERMI test, that is going to be essential to figure out if there's mold in your home. And if you have mold in your home, you will not get better until you either remediate or move. This is one of the hardest things I talk to people about. And so many times when I talk to people, they say, well, that's not an option. And I'm going to be direct because I feel like in being direct, I can help you the best. And I'm not here to sugarcoat things. I'm here to tell you what I see clinically over and over again from the people that get well and the people that do not. The people that get well and get well fairly quickly are the people that get themselves and find a way, no matter what, to get into a safe space. And that seems so overwhelming if there's mold present in the body, because when you don't feel well, the thought of moving and remediating and doing any of that just seems like an impossible task. And sometimes it seems like a financially impossible task. But you need to begin to look at where you're living and what the situation is objectively and find the will inside of you to figure this out. I've gone through mold myself. At one point, I thought I was dying. At one point, I was losing my memory, losing feeling in my body. I thought I was going to have to move to a deserted island. So I know firsthand what it is like to be in a moldy home and feel so overwhelmed by trying to figure it out financially, physically, mentally, all of it. But there's only one way out, and it's through it. You gotta take day by day, one step at a time, and do whatever you can to get into a mold-free house. Your health and your life depend upon it. So that's the first part of treatment, is figuring out if you're living in it, because when you're dealing with mold illness, you're really dealing with the toxins from the mold and breathing them in. And if you're living in those toxins, you cannot eradicate those toxins. So we really want to focus on getting your mind and getting your body oriented to eradicating these toxins, because you're not breathing them in anymore. And we want to get them out of your body. So what does mold treatment look like to get out of your body? I like working in kind of a 4-step method. So the first thing I like to do is really work with the thyroid, the adrenals, the sex hormones, and essentially build your body up and help it to become stronger. Detoxification is energy expensive, which means that your cells use a lot of energy. They use a lot of vitamins and minerals in order to go through the detox process. So the more we can build you up and make your body strong prior to detoxing the mold, the better. Secondly, we want to consider lifestyle factors. So this is diet, this is lymphatic massage, this is working on the nervous system, the mindset, the vagal nerve, all of these different things, right? So all of these different areas need to be addressed. And lifestyle I oftentimes do second, because we want your body to be strong enough to even do some of the lifestyle changes. After that, that's when we get into detoxification. And the other thing I'll say with lifestyle is there's no one particular diet that's right for everybody. The diet that I see with mold illness that works best for the most people most of the time is the low histamine diet. So that's a diet that I do recommend, but again, follow your uniqueness, right? You are unique. The thing that I do not recommend is, when it comes to diet, is going crazy and reading everything you can find online about low lectins and low oxalates and AIP and keto and all these different things. And if you try to combine all these different diets, you essentially get down to about 5 foods. And that's not very healthy, and it's very exhausting to try to live in that way. It's not a good situation. So we want you on the widest variety of diet that you're non-reactive to. And again, the low histamine diet is a great place to start, because I see most people do well on that diet that have mold in their body. But play around with different things. Pay attention to what bothers you and what doesn't. And the low histamine diet can often be a starting point. So once we get to the detoxification process, we want to get you on liver support. So these are things like glutathione, alpha lipoic acid, and acetylcysteine. We want to make sure, and those things help to break down the toxins. We want to make sure that when the toxins are broken down, they leave the liver. They don't get stuck in the liver and go back into a systemic circulation. So these are things like choline and TUDCA will help to make sure that the toxins leave the liver. Once they leave the liver, they end up in the small intestine and then into the large intestine where we want to bind them. I recommend very broad spectrum binders, so combining things like charcoal and zeolite and fulvic and humic acids and chlorella, for example. Various probiotics are binders as well. So we want to make sure we're binding. And then once we're done with all of the detox, then we want to consider killing. We want to consider at that point considering antifungals, antiparasitics to see if there's any other infections such as like insect-borne infections like Lyme disease or Bartonella or Babesia, and we want to kill. So that's kind of the 4-phase treatment to really work with mold. So again, it's building up, it's fixing the lifestyle, it's detox for number 3, and killing for number 4. And it's in that order for most people for the reason of we want to make sure the systems are set up to detox properly. And if we detox you too early, people tend to feel worse and not better. And that is not what we're going for here. All right, so if I can be of any service to you in my clinic, please book a free discovery call with us at the show link and the show links below. And I will see you next time. Please subscribe if it's been helpful as well. See you later.